Let's throw some jabs.
The fight starts now!
All right, Sergio, there is no question the stakes are high for Anthony Joshua in his ring return against Jermaine Franklin on April 1st. A loss would be a third straight for AJ, which his promoter, Eddie Hearn, said could signal that Joshua is done at the world level. Sergio, do you agree with Eddie Hearn?
I think everyone agrees with Eddie Hearn because Anthony Joshua is going in the wrong direction. In 5 fights, he's 2-3. That's a losing record, Mannix, and it's a losing mentality. Joshua's been going everywhere looking for a trainer. This is a mental issue that he has. It's not a physical issue. We know that he has all the physical traits, but mentally, I just think he's not there, man. He's kind of looking for something. And if he loses to Franklin, who's a clever fighter, Mannix. I mean, looking at Jermaine Franklin, he knows how to fight small, excellent body puncher, fast hands, good pedigree. He's going to have his hands full with Franklin. So Joshua, this is going to be a big test for him, not only to look good with a new trainer, but for his confidence, for his mental confidence. It's going to be a win or go home for Anthony Joshua. So yeah, I agree with Eddie here.
Yeah, but this shouldn't be that big a test for Anthony Joshua. I mean, with all due respect to Jermaine Franklin, who was perhaps more competitive than people thought in that fight against Dillian Whyte, he is not, at least physically, skill-wise, on Anthony Joshua's level. So
neither was Andy Ruiz.
Does lose the.
Neither was
Andy Ruiz had been. And Andy Ruiz, though, you're gonna try to compare Andy Ruiz and Jermaine Franklin. You think their hand speed's the same?
Somewhat. I mean, they're the same. They're the same. They're the same height, same body structure, same fast hands, same
height,
combinations.
Same body type. No. Andy Ruiz had much faster hands. You're not gonna compare Jermaine Franklin's hand speed to Andy Ruiz. They're not the same thing. The point is, though, that Jermaine Franklin is a gatekeeper type of fighter. It's just what he is at this point. AJ at his best or close to his best should completely dominate this fight. So if he doesn't dominate this fight, and I'm talking about winning like a close decision or even, not just winning by knockout. If he doesn't dominate, I'm going to have some serious questions about Anthony Joshua's ability to compete at the highest level. Because Sergio, you said it, like for AJ, it's not physical, it's mental. He has not been the same fighter since that fight against Vladimir Klitschko. He has not been as aggressive. He has not been as willing to eat one punch to deliver two. He has been more cautious. He's pulled his punches more. And if that version of Anthony Joshua shows up against Jermaine Franklin, he could be in some trouble. And it could really signal that AJ just isn't that elite guy anymore.
I can pretty much predict that we're going to see a shaky performance from Joshua because I'm telling you, I like what I see with Franklin, and he's already been there against a top contender in Dillian Whyte, someone that Anthony Joshua has been in there with. It was a very good fight, majority decision. Franklin could have won that fight, and he was across the pond. So things didn't go his way. Franklin's going to be dangerous. Joshua, on the other hand, if he's going to be stuck in between styles, stuck in between philosophies from different trainers, he's going to be someone that he's not accustomed to being, man. This is a thing when you go from trainer to trainer and you start doubting yourself as a champion. Becoming a champion is very difficult. Doing it twice is extremely hard. Doing it 3 times, I mean, that's almost impossible. It's rare. I don't think Joshua does it, and if he doesn't beat Franklin, we know he's not going to do it.
One of the things that Derek James said at the Anthony Joshua, Jermaine Franklin press conference was he doesn't need Anthony Joshua to be a dog. And I kind of disagree with that, Sergio. I think that's exactly what Anthony Joshua needs to be. Like, he still has the power, he still has the skills, he's still very much in the prime of his career, but he's lost that dog in him. He's lost that guy willing to go to war in the middle of the ring. Now, Jermaine Franklin, that should be kind of an ideal opponent to go to war with. I mean, whatever you think of Jermaine Franklin's hand speed, he doesn't have big-time power, so Joshua should not be cautious about taking punches from him. But I just want to see if Joshua still has that dog in him. And it does worry me a little bit that Derek James says he doesn't need it, because I think he absolutely does.
Everyone needs dog. If you're going to be a fighter, you need to have dog in you. That's just the way it is. I think what Derek James means here is that he doesn't need to go to war with a smaller fighter at 6'2" when you're 6'6". So use your advantages. Use that long jab. You could fight a little bit like you did in your last fight. You could fight smart. He fought smart against Usyk. He won some rounds. He just didn't have the dog. He didn't bring out that roughness. He needed to rough up Usyk in the second half of the fight and not just compete.
Yeah, but Sergio, that's what he did. You look at that. What was the 10th round? I think of that fight where he had Usyk moving. He had him on the run. Like that's the fighter I want to see. If I see
Joshua can't do that. Joshua can't do that for more than one round, Mannix. We know that he has issues with his conditioning. Because he has issues with conditioning. When you're that muscular, when you're that big, you can't move around and throw combinations like a middleweight. That's just the way it is. It's physics, man. I mean, he's too big, too strong, too muscular, and when he misses punches, all that weight goes off balance and all that saps your legs. That's just the way it is in boxing. He's not going to be a 12-round stick and move boxing behind the jab. He's a smart, cerebral fighter that is very strong. And once he hits you, he hurts you. The problem is if he can't hit a moving target, especially a short fighter that's punching back with sharp counters, that's when he starts looking back and getting discouraged.
Well, I want to see a physical version of Anthony Joshua in this fight. That'll tell me a lot about whether Anthony Joshua can compete the highest level ever again.